Run, ever, run, ever, run, run, run. Run for your life, the boy carries a gun. It went tick, tick, boom. It went tick, tick, boom. It went tick, tick, boom. It went tick, 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 boom. Run for your life, the boy carries a gun. Run, ever, run, ever, run, run, run. Run for your life, the boy carries a gun.
Your attention, please.
Would the real Donald Trump please stand up?
We're gonna have a problem here.
I mean, who are we going to get in the first 100 days? Boardroom Trump? The no-nonsense, straight-talking, waist-cutting, 4 times bankrupt business genius who will slash taxes and get corporate America purring again. This is the golf club superhero, the darling of the 1%. Now that's the man the markets think they see. Or what if he gets Stag Night Donald, the woman-grabbing, dodgy-dealing, locker-room Trump who was one scandal away from impeachment? Now that's the dude the media thinks it sees. Or consider Town Hall Trump, the gold-plated, KFC-chewing, class warrior capitalist who's going to stick it to the man for the little guy. That's the straight-up guy made good that NASCAR America, from Wisconsin to Pennsylvania, thinks it sees.
Please welcome Donald Trump.
But there's also Late Night Donald, the narcissistic, thin-skinned keyboard warrior furiously tweeting away from the Oval Office at 4 a.m, hitting out at his mainstream media enemies, stoking rage in the heartland, uncensored, unchecked, unhinged. That's the creature cyberspace thinks it sees. But there's also America First Trump, the wall-building, ombre-watching, China-bashing, alt-right flirting, bring-em-all-back-home Donald, who's going to make America great again by cutting it off from the rest of the world. And that's the leader that other countries see. And then there's Bob the Builder Donald, the construction guy who's going to rebuild America's infrastructure and give formerly democratic, blue-collar, bud-swilling, MMA-watching working dudes decent jobs on the sites again. Now he's the guy the people who deserted Hillary, the Trump Democrats, think they see.
They love me, I love them.
But which Donald, or combination of Donalds, turns up in the next 100 days? Now that is anyone's guess, but one thing is clear, he has quasi-despotic powers. With majorities in the Senate and the House, he can appoint whoever he wants to whatever job he wants. And he can also, like his reality TV apprentice character, fire whoever he wants.
You're fired.
But he needs results quickly, because these total powers last only 24 months, at which point we're going to see the great American biannual referendum on the president, which is commonly known as the congressional elections. This is where the checks and balances of the American system kick in. And this is what the Founding Fathers inserted just in case power went to the president's head. On the policy front, expect a whirlwind in the first 100 days that focuses mainly on the US. First up will be Boardroom Trump, the economic hitman beloved of the markets who's going to cut corporation tax and give a one-off amnesty to US corporate money which is resting in accounts abroad. Expect cash to flow right back to Uncle Sam. But what then? A massive kick to US investment driving the economy? You know what? I'm not so sure. I don't buy the line that US corporate investment is low because corporate America doesn't have enough money. At 9.5% of GNP, American profits are today at the highest level I have seen in my lifetime.
Well, listen, there's one more thing.
So it's not a lack of cash that is curtailing investment, it's something else. In fact, corporate America arguably has too much cash. I mean, why else is it buying back its own shares? So rather than a surge in factory building, it's much more likely that the offshore money will come back to the States, the tax will be paid, and the cash will be redistributed in the form of a massive one-off dividend to shareholders, it is their money after all, or will be used as a war chest to buy companies. In the first 100 days, also expect to see Bob the Builder Donald in full swing. Trump will expand the fiscal deficit, and my bet is that the fiscally constipated right wing of the Republican Party will do what they always do, which is rail against deficits in opposition, yet gorge on other people's money when they are in power. This is straight out of Reagan's playbook. White House Ronnie spent like a drunken sailor, and so too will White House Donald. Only Democrats are fiscally conservative when they get into power, and only Republicans are fiscally incontinent once they get their hands on the levers. Now, I could be totally wrong. Paul Ryan may well force Donald Trump to cut the budget deficit, but that would be a massive departure from typical Republican policy when they are in power. But like everything else with Trump, there's going to be a twist, because Donald isn't about to unveil a European-style public works scheme, but rather a public-private partnership for the already wealthy. He's going to give equity holders in these leveraged public infrastructure projects an 82% tax credit. That's not infrastructure investment. This is public-sanctioned larceny on a scale that might even make McDonald's make Putin blush. America First Donald will announce mass deregulation and drill, baby, drill. Wall Street will love this. Mass deregulation will be deflationary. Despite this higher deficit, I suspect that Janet Yellen will be more accommodative to Trump. And short-term rates, yes, they're going to move up, but it's not going to be like Paul Volcker. I think rates will peak at around 2% with a risk premium added at the long end. After all, a central bank that has missed its forecasts on the downside for 5 straight years can hardly get all aggressive on the upside now. The dollar should remain strong. Remember, a currency is just a relative price. And looking relatively around the world, I'm not hearing any other convincing stories. For the dollar to weaken, something else has to be getting stronger. Now, for equity markets, they've gambled bigly and almost exclusively on boardroom Trump. But remember, there are multiple Donalds out there. Stagnant Donald only has to be let out once for scandal to immobilize the administration. Also, late-night Donald will court controversy everywhere, and America First Donald will anger former allies and potential foes everywhere. So buckle up for the first 100 days of the Donald.